All right, good evening, guys. I'm WUSA, Season 4, Episode 169. Today was day whatever, the last day um, on the cruise. We get off the boat tomorrow, so today must be day 7, right? Yeah, today was day 7, and so we get off the boat in the morning. We dock around 6 or 7 in the morning. People start leaving about 8 in the morning. We're signed up to leave at 9:15, get some of the crowd out, and that'll give us time to get some breakfast before we leave. And then we will be in Orlando for a day and then fly home from there. I just wanted to go over my day today, some stories along the way that are, I think, interesting, and some lessons learned, which I think are very valuable. I'm in the observation deck. There's a bunch of kids on the other side making tons of noise. So I'm on the other side of the observation deck. I may get interrupted a few times. I may pause it for a minute, so it might sound a little bit different once or twice because I'm pausing it, but for good reasons. So let's start off with uh, morning. Woke up around 8 a.m. We had already docked. Um, and it was kind of an unusual situation because this great Stirrup Cay is an island that was bought by Norwegian Cruise Line, and they've been making it into a resort area. So this is a very rocky island, like terrible island, and they're working so hard on this, and they brought in hundreds of thousands of tons, probably, of sand into this place and cleaned out this whole cove area. And unless you go way out, like 50, more than that, maybe 150 feet um, out, walking out, which would be like, you know, probably shoulder deep for most people. Unless you're that far out, it's pretty smooth. And then once you get that far out, then it starts getting rocky because they didn't clean all that stuff out. But at this point, they don't have a dock yet, and things are not completely done, but it's looking spectacular. It looks like it's going to be amazing. So while they're building a dock, the boat actually put the anchor down about maybe a mile away from shore, and they had boats shuttling people back and forth. And these are pretty big boats. They have 3 levels: the roof, the main level, and the bottom level. You get in on the main level, and then you exit from the bottom level. When you come back, you exit from the middle level because it's just different heights of where the boat is versus where the shore is. Um, what we didn't know was that we needed to have a number, and we didn't sign up for a number, which means we go with the last group, and there was 16 groups ahead of us, and then all of us that didn't have a number went last. So although we woke up early, we were ready by 9, we'd eaten breakfast, and everything was ready to go. We didn't exit the boat till almost 11. So that was kind of a drag, waiting around, and we were just outside of range for internet. So depending on where you were standing, you had it for a minute or you didn't have it for a minute. So that slowed us down a little bit, but we had enough time on the island. So we got there. First thing we did was go right to the beach. We figured we'd never find a beach chair, but we did. We found a couple decent uh, spots and put our stuff down. We figured it's pretty safe to probably leave our stuff for once because we're not on some third world island um, somewhere, because we're not really in the Bahamas, right? We're in their island in the Bahamas. So we left our stuff at the chair, and we went for a swim for about 45 minutes or so. Had a good time, relaxed, just enjoyed the weather. The waves were like an inch tall. It was like almost perfectly smooth. And if you didn't make a lot of ripples, you could see all the way down to the bottom. So very clear water, white sand, very nice, good experience. And then decided to get something to eat. They had hot dog stands, which was kind of weird. And actually, I thought that you had to pay for them, but I think they were free. And then they had a buffet for free, but the buffet just had burgers, hot dogs, pizza, and fruit. So it wasn't the end of the world, but it was, the food was okay. So I ended up getting a burger. I put some steak sauce on there, pretended it was a better cut of meat. Had some stuff to dress it up, some lettuce, tomato, pickles, onions, all that stuff. We got a couple Diet Cokes. Relaxed. I actually had a couple pieces of fruit. So just in the last couple days, I did give myself a little bit of leeway on the carbs. I've already been had to stop the recording 5 times, by the way. People walking by, but so it was pretty good. And then my wife wanted to get some T-shirts and stuff, and so we asked where the shopping area was, and they're like, "Oh, there's a store. You could turn right there." We go there. It's like a bunch of stands set up to look like poor people own it, but it's really all the cruise ship stuff, which was very disappointing and very terribly done. It looked awful. Handwritten signs to make it look like the people wrote it, which they didn't. The people working there were very lazy, just sitting in the back, not trying to sell you anything. So we were disappointed. We got back on the boat and headed back to the ship. Um, Went to the room and relaxed a little bit. Um, Spent a little bit of time on the observation deck. And then around 5 o'clock, right when the restaurants opened up, that's interruption number 6. So as the restaurants were just about to open up, I knew that the casino was going to open up about a half hour later. So I was hoping we would get in early. Yesterday, the restaurants opened about 15 minutes early. I hoped they would do that today, but they didn't. We got right in. We placed our order. Still took an hour to get the food and everything. Over an hour and 15 minutes before we left. So that was disappointing because I had seen a couple plays I wanted, and the slots were just opening up. Ended up going back, and the plays were still there, and played those out. And then we went to a bar that was right next to um, the casino, and they had a game called Last Man Standing, where it was like, pick an answer, this one or this one, like multiple choice, and then the whole group would play, everyone in the bar, and then they would weed people out and end up with one person, and they got a prize. We played that for about 40 minutes or so, so that was okay. And then went back to the room for a while and relaxed a little bit. I went and got a snack um, at the buffet, just some light stuff, cheese and things like that. And then went back to the observation deck for a while, played some slots, went back to the room, played some slots, and so on. And right now it's about 12:30 a.m. The casino closes at 2. I'm going to take one more lap of the casino after I finish recording this. But I want to get into some stories, some things that happened, and some things that I noticed, and then some very important tips about Norwegian Cruise Line and what I think is the best way to play things. I'm going to be a little bit cryptic on one or two things, but those of you who are advantage players already are going to understand. I just can't spell everything completely out. I'm already giving a lot of information out, but I'm only giving you information that's available already to the public. So, but I'm putting it in one place so it's easier for you to digest. So, um, one thing I learned on this trip is to tighten my range. Um, so I've gotten a little bit looser on a lot of the machines I play because there's a lot of competition, and it kind of starts becoming a little bit more of a gamble. You're still barely positive EV, but why should I get in at +0 EV when I could get in positive? Why should I take that risk if I don't have to? So I've been tightening up my range because I was the only one on the boat, and it was easy to do that because there was no competition. I'll get into the final numbers as well. Um, Still unsure if a card is worth using on the slots or table games, and I'll explain. You do get points, and then you do get rebates. Today I ended up getting a $150 credit um, to our charges because I played that much, and also a point is worth like a penny. So, and it takes, I think, I don't know, $5 to get a, a point. So it takes a lot of points to get anything worthwhile. So not really sure if it's worth it or not. I was concerned because of the amount of winnings that I had that it might be a problem later on, and I think it still might be. So going forward, I may not use a card anymore. just leave it at the casino alone and not stress over it. I think I mentioned yesterday as well that when I pulled out my voucher and then removed my card, like signed out my card, put the voucher back in, it knew that it was me, and it kind of gave me kind of like a warning, but more like a tip. Hey, make sure you keep it in next time. So it knew that I had done that. So one way around that would be not to use a card. Another way around that might be to put in different money. So um, I don't think these machines have facial recognition yet, but I'm sure it's coming sometime soon. So even with the free play I received, which was probably around $180 in value, which was $150 in room comps and about $30 in actual, maybe $50 in actual play on the machines, I'm not really sure if it's worth it. Another thing is poker on Norwegian Cruise Lines is a total scam. They take 10% of each hand, up to $25 per hand. Don't play it. They play at least 10 people. I've seen 11 people on the table. That's just ridiculous. That's very scammy. And all they're doing basically is just stealing your money. So don't play poker. Let me see here. Okay, so another thing, I'm considering abandoning some of the remaining casinos I have for some bigger plays, meaning that I play the bigger stuff only. I abandon areas completely that I don't make enough money, and I work out sneaky ways of making other money from the casinos instead, because it doesn't make sense to spend so much time traveling sometimes. I'm still recovering. My back, neck still hurt from all the driving I do. It's gotten better on this trip, but I'm a long way from being healed. I probably need some kind of a chiropractor, maybe some muscle relaxers, maybe some other things. I don't have time to go to a doctor. Um, so I need to take better care of myself and go into some of these areas where I might only make $500 in a day. There might be a better way to make $500 than to spend my whole day wasted at those areas. So I have been slowly abandoning those areas, but I need to rethink my game. So um, now let me think here. Okay, real quick, I'll come back to that. So one thing I want to mention again is that there's RFIDs on these chips. It looks like I will be posting a picture in the next day or two of their chips. They have a big black center area, which is the sensor, which is the RFID, and there is a sensor in the table. The sensor shows the dealer on his screen how much money you bet, and the pit boss on their screen how much you bet. Shows your average bet, and they can determine if you're counting or not with that. So I also saw that dealers were very rude, always begging for tips. Um, so I would say don't play table games. I do feel like there are some other advantage plays possible on these table games, so maybe do that. But they always request your card when you play table games. They're going to know who you are. By the time you get backed off, you're not going to be able to play on Norwegian Cruise Line. If you don't care about that, that might be okay for you. I don't know if they'll spread the information to other casinos or other cruise lines or anything like that, or if they'll be bought out by a casino and you'll have a problem. So, just telling you my opinion, don't play tables. If you do find another advantage on the table, which I did kind of see, you could take advantage of that, but that's up to you at your own risk. So, um, my conclusion: don't play with a card, don't play table games. Um, oh, here a couple stories here. Let's see, where was that? I had the story up here. It's okay. So, um, by the way, we did get our rum that we bought delivered to our room, so we'll be able to take it off the boat tomorrow. Um, so there's this guy. I've been seeing him around for like the whole trip, and he's been pounding these machines hard, betting big time, real big, and just really hammering them and hammering the drinks as well. He's been drunk the whole trip. Him and his wife have been pounding the machines, and he was up 5 or 6 thousand. Then he was about even. Now he's down huge, and he just played his last $100 while I was sitting next to him, telling him, "Hey, that's not a good machine to play. It doesn't pay well." And he played it anyway. Lost his last $100. Um, but he was telling me a story. His father lives in Georgia. He might live in Georgia too. I think he must. Um, but they have these illegal casinos there. And the way it works is if you win a jackpot, you don't pay tax, but you have to play um, $5 through the machines to release $1 of your winnings. Let me think about this for a second. Actually, I think it's $1 to release five. So let's say you get a thousand. Let's say it's not a W-2. Let's say a $2,000 W-2. It's not a legal place. So the way that they get around the rules is, if you win 2,000, let's say, they divide it by five, so it's going to be 400. So you have to do 400 $1 spins. So that's equal to 20%, similar to what the tax would be. And then they'll let you have the money. But until then, the money's locked in the machine. You have to keep playing, and the money is slowly released to you. So, so that was really interesting. He said his dad had won like an $11,000 jackpot and couldn't play it off because he had to go somewhere. So he called his son to play it off, and he gave him a percentage of it just to run the money through and to be able to pull the money out of the machine. And his dad was telling me how he's been married for 47 years. Him and his son were both incredibly drunk. I think the wives gave them some non-alcoholic drinks when they were talking to me because they said it tasted like there was nothing in there, which is probably what happened. But very sad to see. I mean, maybe they can afford it and it's worth it for them. It's just sad to see people's money getting thrown away needlessly. I saw people at the ATM, one girl in particular getting $200 for her boyfriend out of her ATM, and she was so freaked out about using an ATM at a casino and paying fees, and she was scared that he was becoming addicted to it and stuff like that. So that's terrible. Also saw people playing the stupid games like the stupid firecracker game where it looks like all the firecrackers are lit, make you think that it's about to do something, but it says right in the rules that that's for entertainment purposes only. I see people charging 100 after 100 after 100 at these machines to their rooms so that they will hit because it looks like it's going to hit, but it's all fake. So kind of a bunch of sad stuff there, but we can do our segments here after this next interruption, number 9 here. All right, so at this point, now I'm not alone, but try to continue on here. So some things that I noticed with the ship. This is a new ship. It's like 3 or 4 months old. Noticed a lot of problems with the ship already. I saw some cracks in some glass already. I saw glass in an elevator that was taped in place. I saw the elevator door rubbing and kind of scratching, and there's like scratch marks on it already where it was rubbing. None of the elevators closed completely. You got about a 1/4 inch gap in every elevator, and you can see the floors going by as you're going up and down the elevator if you look. So a lot of stuff like that. Here in the observation deck, if you look at the ceiling in some places, there's gigantic cracks in it. So I don't know what the heck is going on here. In our room, the door to the bathroom has 4 screws in it. One of them fell out. When I tried to put it back in, there was like nothing to attach it to, so it just fell back out on the floor. Our door to the room closes, but you can see the hallway from inside, so it's not closed properly. So I'm seeing a lot of issues with this new boat. So I don't know what the deal is here, but yeah, it's been a lot of things going on that worries me about how this thing was put together. But luckily, overall, things have gone really well, and we'll go over our segments. As far as what did you eat today, MW? Today, actually, I had a bunch of stuff, which I told you most of it already. I don't need to rehash everything here, but overall, pretty good food. Made do with what was on the island, because that's all we had available, and I made do with that stuff. But overall, the food on the boat is okay, not spectacular. We didn't eat at any of the premium places, but Um, we have in the past. It's not that much better. It's okay. So I would say at the most a 9 or a 10 for most of the stuff that they have here. And I wouldn't really give it much more than that. Sessions today, and right now it's almost 1, so I got to let you go soon, but I'll have an hour left to look at everything and get cashed out because the vouchers expire. Um, Today I had 5 sessions overall, plus 181, plus 34, plus 476, plus 225, plus 64. So this whole trip only had 2 negative ones. I believe one was like 63 and one was like 329 or something. Other than that, it's been all positive. Overall for the day, I ended up ahead 980, which added to our running total of 85.95 gives us a new running total of $9,575 profit over the last 7 days, 6.5 days. So absolutely amazing. I learned a lot. I just explained a lot about what I learned, so I'm not going to rehash that stuff, but um, man, it's like a dream come true. If I could have like a month cruise by myself, it'd be like an easy 40, 50,000 easy. So, unbelievable. I don't know if that'll ever happen again, but we can only hope. But um, tomorrow we'll be in Orlando. We get off the boat, check into a hotel. I'm thinking about renting a car for 1 day and then returning that to Orlando Airport so we can run around and do stuff because the area that we have the hotel, that Titusville or whatever, is kind of far away from things. So we'll look for some things to do in the morning before we leave the boat, look at cars, and if there's a car rental place nearby, we'll have an Uber take us from the cruise location to a car rental place. And then from there, we'll go to the hotel and check in the evening. That'll give us the whole day to mess around and do things freestyle. So, um, really, that's what's going on right now. I'm gonna let you go. Probably tomorrow and Sunday will probably just be one episode. So look for that. Probably nothing on Saturday. Look for one on Sunday. Um, and that's pretty much it for now. So I'm gonna let you go. If you have any questions or comments, the email is mwusa21 at gmail.com. mwusa21 at gmail.com. See you next time.